I'm going to try to communicate to you what I desperately need to hear right now, and maybe we'll both make out of it alive. That project that you need to do, it's 3/4 of the way done. It is almost finished. And there are so many things stopping you from finishing that thing. There is your general ennui, your sense of frustration or tiredness. You have a 9-to-5 job that drains you. Maybe you have a bad habit in the morning that makes you lose all energy. But carrying the weight of the unfinished, unresolved problem is doing more to hurt you right now than it is just hurting you, really. Something we don't exercise. Emotion. Or maybe a state of mind we don't exercise as much is effort. We don't practice being under load, at least not mentally or emotionally. Some of you might be world-class weightlifters and know what it is like to hold your core under the brunt of 400 pounds. I don't know if that's a lot or that's a little. I don't lift weights, but that sounds like a lot. We're told to complete the task, and yes, that's what I'm telling you to do, but we're not often told that completing the task will not be easy. In fact, often we're told that if we do everything correctly, then doing it will be easy, which puts the responsibility on that completion on you. If it wasn't easy for you, then you're somehow mistaken or misshapen or otherwise defective. But no, we're just out of practice. A lot of things that we need for everyday life are things we practiced when we were children. Ideally. Over time, we've allowed them to atrophy since we have no one checking on us, no one over our shoulder telling us what is correct and what is incorrect. And there's another conversation to be had. I'm not sure if I published this already or if I'm yet to publish this video, but I have a video primarily about how we're responsible for ourselves, and that's really hard. It's really hard to be responsible for yourself because we spend the majority of our formative years being taken care of. A lot of us want to go back. A lot of us want to go back to a moment in time where we were taken care of. I think that's where some things arise, some fixations. You've got to be comfortable with being under load, with holding things up that frustrate you and make you tired. And you've got to finish it. That project that you have 75, 85% done that requires basically packaging and closing up and sending out. But you won't, because all your other projects are weighing in heavily on you. Believe me, the weight of that one unfinished, almost done project is in that collection of plates on your barbell. Again, we're back to the lifting metaphors that I'm too ill-informed to speak to, but you feel it. You feel the precipice, the almost. You feel, I have such bad metaphors today. I was going to say edged. You feel without release because this thing isn't done. And closure's better. Closure's better than release. Celerity Dust, live in that moment, was making a value judgment on whether or not to leave that entire 30-second segment in. We need closure in our lives. We need a lot of closure in our lives. And that lack of closure is eating away at you. You know that being able to cite this incomplete work as one of the things you need to do is weighing on you. You miss being freer. This thing that you made it passionately has become something that needs to be done. And there is room to say give up. There's room to say, hey, I guess our priorities change, we can move on from this. But do that too many times and you're failing yourself. You've got to get one in, even if you're not proud of it. Even if it's not what you want it to be. That you showed up to do it. That you did it. Whether consistency doesn't require perfection of you. It just requires you post. It just requires you make. That you do. And sure, we like posting things that are meaningful, that are wonderful, that are nice, but occasionally there'll be flops. And maybe it's better to be okay with the flop, so long as you know that's a stepping stone. We have too many unfinished, unpaved stepping stones. Oh, I was working on this is a whip, but I'm not going to further it because I got switched to something else. Did you finish that other thing? Did you finish that other thing you were working on? Now, I need to be kinder to you, because, like myself, and I am talking to me, you already are your worst critic. You already hate that you have so many works in progress, that the distance between you and what you want to make is still so large, despite having worked at it for however long you have. But part of the futility that is infecting your mind is that, I think it was Pirate Software who said that burnout doesn't come from work. You can work a whole bunch and have a meaningful time there. You can work a lot and be proud of yourself. Like, think of how the idyllic rancher, or what are other labors that we glorify? There are some people who love their job and love doing the exact same thing. People play job simulators. People play Stardew Valley. I have to imagine someone enjoys that, even though it's not my thing, not my taste. Doing work doesn't necessarily mean burnout or feeling unfulfilled. It's the lack of feeling of meaningful progress, of moving forward, of completing something and moving on. We're often our most motivated when things are moving and are least motivated when things are still. But there will be seasons where things are just still anyway. There will be times where, not at all by your fault, things just slow down. And you've got to be able to exert the same amount of effort, whether it's movement or whether it's still. That victory that you've been holding off on is ultimately the victory you need to feel successful. Ding, ding, ding. 10 minutes. That was a long pause between the two.